Hi, this is Queenie Yu from Bullet Point News. I'm with Karen Wootton, Executive Director of the Stouffville Chamber of Commerce. Karen, welcome to Bullet Point News.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
It's great to have you. Karen, please tell us how the Stouffville Chamber of Commerce aims to help local businesses.
Well, the Stouffville Chamber of Commerce, our mission is to attract, promote, and improve trade and commerce for the Whitchurch Stouffville community. And so that's kind of our true north. So everything that we engage in, it has to do one of those things. We're very dedicated to representing the various industry sectors across Stouffville. They're very diverse in nature, but most of them are smaller businesses. We don't have a lot of manufacturing and things like that. So it's a lot of it is pretty grassroots, and we focus in many different ways on promoting the local businesses, as well as recently trying to put a spotlight on Stouffville for tourism.
Okay. It was recently announced that the Stouffville Chamber of Commerce is getting $100,000 from the federal government. Could you talk about that?
Absolutely. We couldn't be more grateful to the federal government for providing us with a $100,000 grant. That grant has been invested right back into the community. So one of the things that we did was we ran the first Stouffville Halloween in the Village event, which attracted 18,500 to 22,000 people to Stouffville. And out of that, 40% of them were not local. So it really did attract a lot of people from Toronto and surrounding regions to Stouffville to kind of get a taste of the community and what it's like. In addition to that, we embarked on developing a tourism directory. People look at Stouffville and they go, Stouffville, what's Stouffville, right? But really, we have so much for people to see and do, from horseback riding to the number of golf courses that we have, all the nature trails, zip lining. There's really a lot going on in and around Stouffville. It just hasn't been widely promoted. So we embarked on creating a tourism directory with the funding, and we're really happy that that launched about a week ago and is now live, tourism.discoverstouffville.ca, and it highlights things to see and do, unique places to shop, and where to eat and drink. So hopefully it'll be something that the town and everybody will use to promote Stouffville and the many businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector that are really hard hit by the pandemic and are still very much on the road to recovery with a lot of debt.
Would you say that the majority of the $100,000 funds from the government would go towards promoting local businesses?
Actually, so the tourism directory took it really takes up 80% of those funds. And so, yeah, and it directly is to promote those businesses. We've got over 75 businesses that are listed in the directory. And of course, we've had to do all the photography, all the video, all the writing. So it's been a large project for us. As much as we've just announced it, we actually have been working on it for many months. So we've been working on this since July or August. So it's we've been trying to get video footage throughout the year, and we'll be doing a lot of still video editing to promote the various businesses as well, because I think pictures speak volumes when people are talking about when you talk about tourism and coming to a new destination. We just want to showcase Stouffville as the unique and wonderful place that it truly is.
How will the remainder of the funds be used? Could some of the small businesses apply
No,
to?
unfortunately, there's some very strict guidelines as to where we have to use those funds. So part of the funds went to the Halloween event and creating that. The majority of it went into the tourism directory, and the remaining funds are being used for marketing material.
How is that tourism directory being promoted?
So we've just completed the tourism directory, and the grant. Everything had to be done by December 31st. So we're just sort of squeaking it in under the wire there. So we did get it launched. We will be promoting it. So we will be promoting it in the spring across social media. We're really going to be targeting a number of places. So really what we want to do is we want to set Stouffville up. We don't have hotels and motels, and like there aren't a lot in the way of accommodations here. So we're really trying to poise Stouffville as an ideal daycation destination. So those in the city that want to get out of the city, get out into the cleaner air, get out into nature, do a few things. So that's really what we're targeting. And there's, between family fun type of stuff, adults, culture, there's so many different pockets so we'll be promoting to the different types of people that we would want to attract. And we'll be doing most of that over social media when we get closer to the spring, because obviously this is not prime tourism season right now.
Mhm. Who is the town of Whitchurch Stouffville hoping to attract?
Well, I can't speak for the town because I speak for the chamber, but we're definitely looking to attract young families from Toronto, or Oshawa, any of those lower, closer to the city, GTA type of people. So families, obviously, we've got a huge variety of golf courses here. We've also, we've also got a fair amount of culture between the museum and the art gallery, and then at certain times of year we've got the studio tour and things like that happen. So I think it's really a matter of targeting, so everything from seniors to families to uh, just young adults that want to get out and get active between the trails and zip lining and being outdoors. So there really is a wide variety of people that Stouffville could attract. It's just a matter of targeting them one by one and showing them the types of things that they can do that they would be interested in. It's not going to be a one size fits all scenario. It's going to be very targeted. So when we're looking at, those that like arts and culture, we may be promoting the wineries, we may be promoting fine dining, we may be promoting the museum and the art gallery, and 19 on the park if they want to go to a show. But if they're young families, we'd be going, okay, so maybe you want to go to Timber Creek and do mini golf, or maybe your kids are a little older and they're good for, zip lining over at Bruce Mills. Other times of the year, it would be like sugaring off at Bruce Mills, sort of thing. And then there's horseback riding. And then there's a lot of clubs that we have here, like the BMX club. We've got the archery club. There really is a lot. And I think it's just a matter of almost putting yourself into the mindset of the people that would be going to these venues, and to say, okay, well, how do we kind of take a bunch of these and put them into a category that would appeal to, a more senior adult crowd, or young families, or like the athletic type of enthusiast that wants to get outdoors. So I think it's going to be very targeted, and we're certainly moving into that vein in 2023 as we start the year to get that all prepared ahead of the tourism season.
You talked about the Halloween festival and the success of it. Are you going to be organizing other large events like that?
So the chamber works in conjunction with the town and the village of Stouffville to put on a number of street festivals that attract people to Main Street, and the real goal there is to support the businesses. And really, Main Street Stouffville is also a tourism destination. It's kind of the heart of you, if you will, of Stouffville. So we last year we put on the antique car show, which was, ran in tandem with the Strawberry Festival and the Long July weekend. We're looking at doing that again in the 2023. We also, we've done Moonlight Madness in the past. What that's going to look like this year, we're not 100%, but we're certainly committed to making sure that Halloween becomes an annual event. Obviously, this was the first time we'd done it, and we didn't expect the crowd that we actually received. So it was fabulous to see all the smiling faces and to really showcase, Stouffville at its best. Just people, community, family. It was a lot of fun.
I know that the winter time isn't the best moment for tourism, but what specifically is there for people to do in Stouffville during the winter?
Well, the winter is it's all about kind of outdoor winter activities. So right now, people are obviously getting their Christmas trees, or hopefully they have them by now. So we have a number of Christmas tree farms. In the winter time, like once we get into March, we've got sugaring off. Uh, in the wintertime, it's either indoor where you'd go to the theater, the 19 on the Park, the museum, the art culture, the restaurants. So it's fine dining. We've got just about every type of restaurant you can imagine here in Stouffville. And I guess beyond that, it's outdoor skating. So the trails are open year round. Some of the horseback riding do trail rides in the wintertime, which is absolutely charming as well. So there are still things to see and do. People are obviously not as likely to spend a lot of time outdoors, but those that enjoy the winter and the winter sports, there's snowshoeing. There's everything you could do in the trails that in the wintertime that you could do, except for maybe biking, unless you got the real nubby tires. But yeah, so there's lots to still see and do, especially with the trails, and if you like to get out into nature.
I know that the Winter Song Festival is taking place at the end of January. Is the Chamber of Commerce involved in that as well?
So we work very closely with Epidemic Music and Warm Hearts Collective. It's not our event; it's their event, but we do support them in any way that we can and help to promote the event because it is one of those events that happens it is a tourism event, right? So yeah, we work really closely with Kevin. My background is all in marketing and advertising, so I help him with the media buy and everything else. It's just me as on the side, right? If they're going to do that for all the businesses, the least I can do is lend a hand and help to, get a marketing plan put together for them so that they can promote it across the town and beyond. I think it's going to be the biggest and best so far this year or since they started, and we're really excited about the headliners that they have coming in.
Speaking of media, there's not that much local media advertising in Stouffville.
No, not anymore. No, there's really not. It's very difficult to get uh, information out. And really, the only thing that we're finding lately that's at all successful, like the Halloween, that was strictly social media. That was an advertising buy, like we across social media that brought all those people to Stouffville, which was crazy, right? So it goes to show you that social media is something that is a tool that's cost effective that can really reach the audience that we need to reach when it comes to tourism. And so we learned a lot through the Halloween and what we did, and we hope to be able to replicate that and the learnings from that to really promote some of the venues in Stouffville and the events that'll be coming up in 2023.
If there's anything we could do to help, let us know.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you informed as we put out press releases, so
Yeah.
that you'll know what we're doing, and always happy to jump on a call with you and share additional information. We're also linked in with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, and coincidentally, they just launched a whole tourism report just last week. So That's a pretty in-depth report on Ontario tourism and what we're calling on the government to provide as far as support for that industry. So hopefully we'll be successful with that and be able to get a little bit more funding or at least some relief from the loans that are going to come due at the end of 2023.
You know, also speaking of social media, I agree that it's very effective. But I also think it's important to have like good, say, Instagram reels to put on social media because one thing is a static post and another thing is video with sound that people will be attracted to and will share.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's why we've invested so heavily with the tourism directly. We've invested very heavily into video footage and getting some stock footage so that we can promote some of these videos through like these venues through reels, and use the social media to really kind of spotlight, if you will. I mean, like some of the photos and that we have from Fishbone on the Lake. It's just like you'd swear it was somewhere down south, warm and sunny. I mean, like it's just such a beautiful venue, right? And some of the wineries and just some of the things that we have that I'm not even sure the local residents know are here. You can go fishing up at Birds Fishing, right? And they'll clean it. You can take it home and eat it. Like, I mean, it's there's just so it's very diverse and it appeals to such a broad range of individuals and interests that I really think that if we can package it up together and promote it out, that there's going to be a real it'll make a real impact, and I think we could put Stouffville a little bit more on the map for that getting out of the city and out of the concrete and into some nature and some surroundings where it's not like there's a lot of agricultural stuff and the kids being able to go to the farms and pick their apples and just some stuff that brings you back down to reality. It's like food doesn't just come from the supermarket. I know I've always enjoyed taking my son out to the local farms and whether it's apple picking or picking your pumpkin or strawberry, it's different when you're meeting the farmers and you're seeing where it's grown and you have a different connection with food than it just comes off a shelf. So hopefully we can really start to expand some of the visitors to Stouffville so that we can really help the tourism and hospitality sectors.
You mentioned that maybe some of the residents of Stouffville don't even know some of the attractions in Stouffville. Why do you suppose
Hmm.
that is? Like Stouffville is a small town.
It
Can't they
is,
just
but you
drive 10 minutes and see?
yeah, but you know what? There's like even I've lived in Stouffville for like 17, 18 years now. And I'm very connected with the community and the businesses and stuff. But even when we did this deep dive to root out tourism destinations, there were a few things I didn't even know were here, right? So if I didn't know they were here, then I think a lot of them are not. They don't do a great job of promoting themselves. They do a great job of running that facility, but they don't necessarily have the marketing background or the budget, or like they're so busy running the business that they don't think about marketing the business. So I think that that's where we can come in as an organization, and with we've got a fair following as well, and we also manage Stouffville Shop Local and Stouffville Restaurants Open. So we really tried to create opportunities for businesses to post who they are and what they do, but some of them still they just run their business, and so I think it's time that we with funding like we received from the federal government for this, it gives us the revenue that we need to go a little bit further and to do a little bit more, and to hopefully make a positive impactful difference.
Is the chamber applying for other grants from the government?
We always apply for grants. We're constantly looking at grants. In 2022, we secured upwards of $190,000 in grants. So whether it's federal, provincial, or partnerships, like so we do partnerships with Central Counties Tourism. We secured the Reconnect Ontario grant last year. We secured this FedDev tourism grant. We also secured a My Main Street grant. That was a unique grant because it allowed us to hire on contract a Main Street ambassador that worked with the businesses on Main Street in Stouffville to do deep dive research and stuff to help them to better understand the clientele in the area and so that they could target their marketing better. And it also came along with the possibility for $10,000 funding for individual businesses. And so we've been working hard with local businesses to help them to secure that funding, which is non-repayable and can be a real game changer for some businesses. So yeah, again, it's trying to do, and this obviously is over and above what the chamber's mandate is, like in addition to. But you know what? I think it's important that we do what we can do as opposed to just what we have to.
Wonderful. Karen, thank you so much for joining us at Bullet Point News today.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful to be here.